On today's show, in the world of wildlife art, they call themselves the Mountain Men, perhaps because they paint near the top of the world of wildlife artistry. We'll watch the brushes fly.
Time to fish.
Next, the latest in ice fishing gear that makes winter angling cozy and comfortable. Time for more outdoor safety advice from the experts at Hennepin County Medical Center. Topic, how to avoid a silent killer, carbon monoxide poisoning.
Oh, look at all the minnows.
And our Minnesota-bound classic this week heads to Grand Bahama Island, where the bonefish lurk in aqua waters and the living is easy. Those stories and more, next.
Minnesota Bound. Brought to you by Minnesota's select GMC dealers.
Hi, everybody. Raven and I welcome you to the show as we sit in the snow. Coming up, a story about three wildlife artists who call themselves the Mountain Men, mainly because they're at the top of their game.
Those are originals, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not a rendition of painting by the numbers.
Some of the things I've done here, this is just a pure, landscape, a piece that's a giclée on canvas. The rough grouse piece here, the moose up there, something of mine.
Wisconsin artist Scott Zolik is the center of a menagerie of wildlife, all created in his mind and brought to life with his hands.
Jerry at this show is probably the most represented because he always has a body of new originals.
Jerry?
All my paintings are done 100% freehand airbrush.
Jerry is Jerry Gadamus, a wildlife artist with a different look.
Everything you see on here is 100% freehand. I just enjoy doing it.
Look closely, you'll see another artist name on display, Don Klotsky. Three wildlife artists in the same exhibition space at Pheasant Fest? What's that about?
Scott Zolik, Don Klotsky, and myself, we've pretty much been from day one in our printing business together.
There's a lot of different stuff,
So when Scott created
some of
an
these
art
literature
publishing
we may be
company,
out
Thunder Mountain Press, in 1992, the three artistic friends called themselves the Mountain Men.
Emmylou, you want to go hunting?
Okay, but how does it happen? How does a pheasant painting come to life? The first clue isn't far away.
Sounds like she's got one there. What girl? Deal. Oh, she's a fun dog to watch. She's pretty animated and pretty in the field.
And pretty good at retrieving, too.
There's a beautiful ring neck. As they get closer through the winter towards spring, their colors will even get more vibrant.
Scott Zolik is not just another pretty picture painter. He's a hunter conservationist.
Scott Zolik, can you come up, please?
Scott's artwork has raised thousands of dollars for Pheasants Forever's Habitat program.
Scott Zolik's been a two-time National Artist of the Year for Pheasants Forever. He always does quality art. You know him as part of the Mountain Men.
And his list of awards is longer than a pheasant tail. A working dog, a flushing pheasant. Nobody sees these ordinary hunting scenes like an artist does.
What I see and do in the field, I got to take it home, back to the studio, and translate it into, put it on canvas.
Sit in his art studio and, well, paint.
Here's one of the birds we bagged today. So sometimes what I might do is start out with a broader brush, maybe imitate a little bit of that motion. While some of the flushes and stuff are still kind of fresh in your mind, sometimes it's nice to do a sketch. And with the specimen in your hand, I probably use this as much for detail as anything, and then how the different feathers, you know, go from one section to the next. Yeah, one thing with pheasants, when you're doing a rooster, you got such a full spectrum of colors.
Slowly, ever so slowly, Scott's artistic strokes bring the scene to life.
I love, on pheasants, watching when they rise out of whether it's corn or whatever cover they're in.
He's like a composer whose song is a painting.
I've been very fortunate that I've been able to make a living. At times good, at times not real good, but you're still doing what you enjoy.
Scott Zolik, Artist Supreme, and Emma, Springer Supreme. They think alike.
There you go.
When we return, today's winter angler need not suffer. A look at what's out there to keep you warm and fishing on the ice.
Minnesota Bound, brought to you by Minnesota's select GMC dealers. Ice Force, Connecticut, and by Seven Clans Casino.
Coming up, you know, it always amazes me the ingenuity of ice anglers. Well, every year they're coming up with new stuff. Bill Shirk took a look at it and has this story.
For die-hard ice anglers, that winter fishing itch needs to be scratched, even at 10 below zero. Raw weather, hard on fishermen, tough on gear too.
The auger runs, and so does my nose.
On this bitterly cold winter day, we set up our fishing shop on a local lake named Pelican.
Go, bring us back something fun.
Oh, time to fish.
Now, ice fishing comes with a standard set of rules. First,
Ooh. Ooh. Oh.
the big ones always seem to get away. But ice fishing's most basic rule may be this.
Tip up.
Oh yeah.
When the fish bite,
Now it's going.
we just don't seem to notice the cold.
Oh, there he goes. He is not happy. Boy, that is a nice fish. There you go. What do you think? First fish. Did we get him back in? All right, see him. Thanks. What a nice fish.
But when the fishing slows down, seems the cold creeps in rather quickly. Thank goodness Frabill found a way to break the rules.
Oh my gosh. I just love it. Saved me last winter.
Frabill's newest ice shack packs on the wow factor.
Oh, there's a fish.
It's one of those deals that makes you say, man, why didn't I think of that? Now the whole story starts here on the campus of Minnesota's 3M company, building 235 to be exact.
This is where we do a lot of our laboratory testing.
3M produces a nifty product called Thinsulate. You know, that puffy insulation that goes into boots, gloves, coats, all the stuff that keeps us warm when the weather gets cold. Well, 3M still works to find new ways to use the stuff.
Some of the best applications have been the simplest.
So this is kind of like a sleeper.
Which takes us up the road a few miles to Matt Franta's canvas shop. In here, people work away their days, among other things, on covers for portable ice fishing shelters.
Quite a few years ago, a lot of our customers would come in and ask for, they were bringing blankets that they bought from Fleet Farm, and they would tuck them above the frame of their ice, inside their portable ice fishing house. So they asked us to tack in or sew in blankets on the inside of each of their houses, which we did.
One day, Matt thought, geez, why not just make the covers using insulated material? Ding, the idea was born. Matt teamed up with 3M to create Norpack. It's a special ice house material made with Thinsulate.
It's such a simple concept when you think about it. Why would you make anything non-insulated?
Now, after designing that cover, the crew wondered if it would actually work. So they got their hands on a refrigerated ice cream truck and turned down the temp a few degrees. At 10 below zero, they used infrared cameras to find an answer. They found older canvas shelters slowly bleed out all their heat. The Thinsulate cover, though, it's a very different story.
In our controlled environments, you're going to see about a 40-degree difference on the inside of an insulated tent versus a non-insulated tent.
Which means when you're out doing this,
Oh, there we go.
you don't have to worry about this.
It's a lot warmer back inside that shelter, though.
Obviously, on these cold Minnesota days or even nights, you want to make sure that you're comfortable.
So we say two things. First, thanks, Frabill. And of course, why didn't I think of that first?
This is a brand new one, so you're looking at state-of-the-art.
HCMC experts have some good safety advice for the outdoors. That's next.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Yard, premier manufacturers of maintenance-free outdoor patio furniture and accessories from recycled plastic.
And now, the performance we've all been waiting for. Awaiting the judges' scores. Amazing! Perfect scores for each. Quality, comfort, and reliability. Call today for your free catalog or visit us online at buytheyard.net. That's buytheyard.net.
You know, there are some hidden dangers in the ice fishing houses across the lakes in Minnesota. It's carbon monoxide poisoning. How do you know it? How do you avoid it? The folks at HCMC have this advice. When it's cold out, thousands of us sleep in deer shacks or fish in ice houses. But danger lurks there. Dr. Cheryl Atkinson, the HCMC medical director for the Center of Hyperbaric Medicine, says these shacks can be a setup for something called carbon monoxide poisoning.
Carbon monoxide is a gas. It's a gas that is released when hydrocarbons burn, meaning any fuel that we think of, whether that's gas or natural gas. Wood is a hydrocarbon. Anytime any of those burn, carbon monoxide is released.
When does carbon monoxide become dangerous? Take a look around your deer shack or ice shack.
A closed environment where somebody is trying to heat that, where they're using a different kind of apparatus like ice fishing houses.
So, what are the symptoms of carbon monoxide poisoning?
Nausea, headache, a little blurred vision, dizziness. Everybody's getting sick at the same time. The problem is it doesn't in and of itself have any odor. You can't see it.
If you recognize these symptoms, get into fresh air immediately. If the symptoms persist, call for emergency help. When a patient comes into HCMC with carbon monoxide poisoning, they are treated in a hyperbaric oxygen chamber.
And this is a brand new one, so you're looking at state-of-the-art. We fill the chamber with compressed air, so this is air that we would be breathing if we were visiting in here. And the patient then wears a mask that goes over their nose and mouth like this.
The best solution is to take precautions, so no visits to the oxygen chamber will be necessary.
Hi, I'm Rob Jerusalem, Managing Editor of the Outdoor News Publications. Across Minnesota's western border, South Dakota always has been the king of pheasant hunting. This winter, however, the state has been studying its loss of pheasants and pheasant habitat. In December, the state had a pheasant summit with more than 400 participants to talk about a 64% decline in pheasant numbers between 2012 and 2013. Entering last autumn, pheasant surveys showed a 76% drop off the 10-year average, and hunter reports from the state this past fall reflected that drop in bird numbers. Pheasants need grasslands for nesting and winter cover, and South Dakota lost about 2 million acres of grassland habitat to row crops from 2006 to 2012. Much of that land conversion has occurred in the eastern half of the state, which historically has contained the bulk of the state's pheasant harvest. So it's no surprise that South Dakota's pheasant population and kill has declined significantly. The one tangible result from the summit was that South Dakota Governor Dennis Doggard announced plans for a pheasant habitat work group to find solutions. In January, Doggard unveiled the names of the 13 members of the work group, and it includes politicians, farmers and ranchers, public policy experts, and some strong voices for conservation. The work group will meet periodically through June with a final report completed by late this summer. Citizens can lend their voice to the issues facing South Dakota grassland wildlife by emailing pheasanthabitat@state.sd.us or call 605-223-7660. For regular updates on the status of the Pheasant Habitat Work Group, check out the print edition of Outdoor News or view us online at outdoornews.com. I'm Rob Drieslein.
Still ahead, our Minnesota-bound classic goes back to Grand Bahama Island, where the living is easy, the bonefish bite, and all is right in the fishing world.
Minnesota Bound, brought to you by Radco Truck Accessories, Minnesota Agricultural Water Resource Center, and by Visit Grand Rapids.
In Minnesota, you're never too old to play in the snow. And when you play in our winter wonderland of Grand Rapids, you can almost hear nature say, "Welcome. Hope you stay a while." Because you'll need some time to explore new trails, get in a workout, catch your limit, or just go for a stroll in the woods. Leave the world behind, bundle up, and come play in the snow. Here in Grand Rapids, it's in Minnesota's nature.
Coming up, you know, as a fisherman myself, I've always wondered what happens below the water. So I took scuba lessons and then took a trip to the Bahamas. Wow, what a sight under the ocean. A mere 200 miles off the Florida coast is a place called Andros. It's an island, the largest of 700 islands, collectively called the Bahamas. That's Spanish for shallow sea.
Nice incoming tide.
But on Andros, shallow means something else.
I've seen quite a bit of fish. Yeah.
On Andros, the meaning of shallow and fish adds up to bonefish, the ghost of saltwater flat.
Long strip. Set. Okay, just let him run.
All right.
Just let him run.
Your eyes are so much better than mine, but I got a bonefish on. That's all I care about. Yeah,
that's one of the slipper ones.
He's a little smaller, but he's a bonefish.
Yeah.
There you go, boy. Cool. Only 26 miles away from Nassau, the tourist hotspot in the Bahamas, the island of Andros might just as well be a world away. For the residents of Andros, a way of life changes slowly. Here at the island's only factory, colorful Bahamian shirts are made the old-fashioned way with wax, including shirt designs made from sea sponges and dried by sea air.
Okay, go for it. Take it to the fish. Take it right up to the fish.
In the next instant,
a
3-pounder was taking it to me.
All right. Just hold your tip high. Keep your tip in the air, right? Must be his little brother.
Yeah, he doesn't quite have the shoulders on it. Come on. Perfect. That's it. That's the problem with bonefish.
That was nice.
When it's nice, you want more.
Oh, he's got shoulders.
That's all it takes, just that one bonefish. Oh yeah. I have guys came down, never saw them before, you know, until they really hooked it, felt the weight of it, the fight of it. Hey, they want to do it over and over again.
It's like waiting for dynamite to go off.
Oh, the joy of seeking bonefish, adrift above a living sea.
There's a ray over there.
A sea world where the dots connect.
The bonefish usually travels along with those rays because by swimming, they just stirs up the bottom and just kicks up a lot of feed. So you'll find the bonefish traveling really with those rays.
And when the sea changes, the connecting dots do too.
Okay, they're moving back to the right. Strip it, strip it. 1, fish. Okay, he's gone.
Oh Bonefish, how about biting a shrimp fly? It's delicious. Oh, come on, give it a try. You're the ghost of the flat, and so spooky I dread that the best way to catch you is forget angling pride.
Here, fishy, fishy.
Simply just beg.
Come on, fishy. Hey, man, it's just fishing, man.
I remember that dive because I stayed in about 20 feet because there were lots of things to see, but over farther, there was a black hole that went down who knows what. I stayed away from that. Well, that about does it for us. Remember, introduce a kid to the great outdoors. I'm Ron Sharon, of course, always the star of the show. Great.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433. For more information on these stories and more, catch us on the web at mnbound.com.